Prepare to start, no crank, nothing happens. If I push up on the switch, or if I push up on the key, it's a classic symptom of a bad ignition switch. The other possibility obviously could be that the key cylinder is worn, too much play in it, doesn't feel that stiff, and it feels actually quite solid. So we'll start with the ignition switch. It's 3 Phillips screws. And then you separate the lower cover. I hate plastic parts. When this lower cover comes off, 2 Phillips screws. Remove the harness plug, squeeze the 2 little tabs, pull on the harness. Squeeze these guys. And there's a screw down in here. Let me just grab a mirror. You can see the little screw right here. You just sort of feel for it. The key is a small screwdriver. Just trying to show this here, but usually I just go in and feel for it. And now that I'm focusing on the mirror, it's probably going to make it more difficult. Once you have the screw, just loosen it if you can. Oh, it's in good and tight. Have to try something else. I might have loosened it. Sometimes it's quicker to pull the whole housing, but you shouldn't have to on these Euro vans. Or at least on this model. I think it's coming. Yep. Once it's loose, you should be able to just pull the switch out. Don't lose the screws. And sometimes you can see cracks along the housing. You see corrosion as well. Corrosion wasn't really the issue here. It's the contacts inside. But you might want to put some anti-corrosion paste on here. I'll show you what we use. But that's it. And then a new switch goes in, tighten up the screw, and you're done. Obviously, put everything else back the way it was. You can get electrical contact cleaner. I like this battery cleaner. It foams and it also changes color when there's acid detected. It's meant for battery terminals cleaners, for cleaning battery posts, etc. But any type of corrosion, such as this here as well, it'll eat it away, and it'll change color when it detects acid, battery acid that is. So obviously it won't change color here. And this is just also good for protecting contacts. So just spray it in, it'll dry up later, and leave a protective, clean surface. Okay, so the switch is in, screw is tight, and you can see here the foam is almost dissipated, dried up. Plug in the connector, make sure these little fingers sit in their little windows here. To double check, you can just pull on the wiring, it shouldn't come out. I'm just going to turn it. Works good. No more having to push up. I can even pull down and turn, and it still functions. Before there was a dead spot, I had to push up. Fairly simple. I'm not sure what the labor rate is. I can double check on the Mitchell service guide. As Scanner Danner would say, knowledge is money. So if you pay an hour labor for somebody to do this, it's justified in terms of that's what the book lists. That's what the dealer lists. If you happen to know a workaround such as this with a small screwdriver rather than taking the whole housing apart, the technician saves time. Customer still gets a good repair. I was going to say decent repair, but a good repair. So yeah, shouldn't have to complain about being charged an hour for a job that's done right. Again, the more work a technician does, the more shortcuts he finds, and that's pretty much all it is here. If everybody only charged 5 minutes for a repair like this, wouldn't make any money. And obviously the car had to be driven in. We obviously knew about the workaround here. We tried it outside with pushing up the lever, but in a case where, let's say, it's still the ignition switch, but pushing up on the cylinder didn't work, we would have to push the vehicle in, so we'd be manpower involved right there. So time starts as soon as you get into the vehicle. If we have to get a bunch of guys to push a vehicle, that adds time, and again, that's why there's a flat rate usually for these things, and I'll list that in the description as well as in the overlay in the video here. Thanks for watching.